When I first started looking seriously at launching an online course, I had 11 browser tabs open. Email marketing platforms, landing page builders, video hosting services, payment processors, membership site plugins, webinar tools. Every one of them promising to be the missing piece. Every one of them with a monthly fee. I spent weeks in that rabbit hole, comparing features, reading reviews, watching videos, and here's what I eventually realized. I was using research as a way to avoid actually building the thing. In this video, I want to cut through all of that. I'm going to show you the simplest tech stack that actually works for a new course creator, what you genuinely need, what you absolutely don't, and the one platform that makes most of the decisions for you. By the end, you'll have a clear, simple answer. And if you want to, you can have the whole thing set up today. Let's start with the honest truth about tech. So what's the real problem? Here's what happens to most people who are thinking about launching a course. They decide they need a proper setup before they start, so they begin researching tools. And the more they research, the more tools they discover. And the more tools they discover, the more overwhelming it becomes. And the more overwhelming it becomes, the easier it is to keep researching instead of building. It's a very comfortable trap because it feels productive. You're doing something, you're learning, you're getting ready. But getting ready is not launching. And launching, however imperfectly, is the only thing that moves you forward. I've spoken to a lot of course creators who are 6, 8, or 12 months into getting ready. They have a Notion doc full of tool comparisons. They have a shortlist. They might have accounts on 3 different platforms that they've never actually used to build anything. The tech's not the problem. The tech is the excuse. I say this as someone who did exactly the same thing. So let me show you what you actually need. It's less than you think. Here's what I call the 3 tool stack. 3 things. That's genuinely all you need to launch a course. Something to record with, something to host and sell your courses, and something to communicate with your students. That's it. Everything else, and I mean everything else, can wait until you're making money. Let's go through each one. Tool 1, record. The barrier here is almost always in people's heads, not in their kit list. I use a Sony ZV-E10 with a Sigma 16mm lens. It's a brilliant little camera that punches well above its price point, and it's what I'd recommend if you want a dedicated camera setup. I'll put a link in to everything I use in the description. But here's what I want you to learn. You do not need that to start. Your phone, if it's been made in the last 3 or 4 years, shoots video that's more than good enough for an online course. Genuinely. The camera in your pocket right now is better than professional broadcast cameras from 10 years ago. What matters far more than the camera is the audio. Bad video with good audio is watchable. Good video with bad audio is not. For audio, I use the Rode Procaster as my main desk microphone, and the Shure MV7 is an excellent alternative. It plugs straight into your computer via USB. No additional interface needed, and the sound quality is outstanding for the price. Again, links in the description. But at the very start, even a decent pair of wired earphones used as a microphone is a step up from your camera's built-in mic. For lighting, and this is where a small investment makes a disproportionate difference, a single LED panel light, like the Godox SL60 with a softbox, will transform how you look on screen. Even a light ring will do. Good light makes a £500 camera look like a £2,000 camera. I'll link to what I use. But again, a well-positioned window with natural light works. Don't let the absence of perfect kit stop you recording. For screen recording, tutorials, walkthroughs, anything where you're showing your screen, I use Final Cut Pro for editing, but for the actual recording, QuickTime on a Mac does the job for free. On Windows, the built-in Xbox game bar captures your screen without spending anything. Record. Don't overthink it. Tool 2, host and sell. This is where most people spend the most time going in circles, and it's also where I can give you the clearest answer. You need one platform that hosts your course content, handles your checkout, and processes payments. And it needs to do all 3 of these things without requiring you to stitch separate tools together with integrations and Zapier. This is System.io. This is what I use, and it's what I'd recommend to anyone starting out. Your course lives here. Modules, lessons, video content, all in one place. You can drip content, manage student access, and add resources like PDFs and worksheets. Your sales page and checkout are built in here. You don't need a separate landing page tool. You don't need a separate checkout plugin. It's all inside the same platform. When someone buys your course, System.io handles the payment through Stripe or PayPal, sends them their login details, and gives them access to the content automatically. No integrations, no Zapier, no why isn't this connecting to that. One login, everything in the same place. And on the free plan, which is genuinely free, not a trial, you can build and sell one course to hundreds of students. For most people, launching their first course, that's all you need. I'm on the webinar plan myself, which is around £35 or $47 a month, but I didn't start there. Start free. I did. Upgrade when your revenue justifies it. That's the right order. Tool 3. Communicate. Here's the good news. If you're using System.io, this tool is already included. System.io has built-in email marketing across all plans, including the free plan. You can build your list, send broadcasts, and set up automated sequences all within the same platform you're already using to host your course. You don't need a separate email service provider to start. As your business grows and your needs become more sophisticated, you might choose to add one. There are excellent options out there, but at the beginning, the email tools inside System.io are more than sufficient. One platform, one login, course, checkout, and email, all connected by default. That's the stack. So here's what you don't need yet. Let me quickly go through the things people typically add to their tech stack before they've launched and why you can safely ignore them for now. A separate landing page builder. System.io builds your pages. You don't need lead pages or ClickFunnels or anything else. A dedicated membership site plugin. Your course platform is your membership site. That's the same thing. A social media scheduling tool. Useful later, not now. Post manually to start, but it forces you to stay close to what you're publishing. A separate CRM. Your email list is your CRM at this stage. A podcast, a newsletter, a community platform, a webinar tool. None of these are bad ideas. Some of them are genuinely excellent ideas, but they are ideas for after your first course is live and making sales. Every tool you add before you launch is another thing to learn, another thing to pay for, and another thing that can go wrong and slow you down. Constraints are not a disadvantage at the start. They're a feature. When you only have one tool, you learn that tool deeply, and when you know it well, everything else becomes easier to add. Let's look at the total cost. Let me put actual numbers on this. If you use your phone to record, a natural light from a window, which is perfectly legitimate as a starting point, your tech stack costs nothing, zero. System.io free plan, zero, nothing. Email marketing inside System.io included, screen recorded with QuickTime or Xbox Game Bar, free. If you want to step up the audio from day one, and I would encourage this because it makes the biggest difference to perceived quality, the Shure MV7 is around £220. That's a one-time cost, not a subscription. You plug it in, it works, and you'll still be using it 5 years from now. Add a basic LED light panel around £80 to £100 at the most, and you have a setup that looks and sounds genuinely professional. So at the higher end of the proper beginner setup, roughly £300 in hardware, one time, zero in monthly software costs. Compare that to the setups that I've seen people build before launching. £100 a month in platform subscriptions, £50 in tools they're not using yet, endless integrations that need maintaining, and you start to see why keeping it simple isn't just easier, it's smarter. Now, when should you scale up? I want to be clear, simple is the starting point, not the destination. As your course business grows, there will come a point where you need more, a more sophisticated email platform perhaps, a dedicated community space, better analytics, multiple funnels running simultaneously. All of that is fine. All of that makes sense when the revenue is there to support it and the complexity is genuinely solving a problem you actually have. The rule I'd give you is this: only add a new tool when the absence of it is costing you money or students. Not when you think it might be useful, not when someone in a Facebook group recommends it, when the gap is real and measurable. Until then, keep it simple, do the work, get the course built and in front of people. The tech will follow. If you want to get started with System.io, the link to create your first free course is in the description. It's my affiliate link. I earn a small commission if you sign up at no cost to you. I've also put links to the recording kit. I personally use the Sony ZVE10 or ZVE10, the Shure MV7, the Godox Lite, all in the description as well, for when you're ready to invest in your setup. Next week, I'm going to do something a bit different. Instead of comparisons and strategy, I'm going to sit down and build a complete course on System.io from scratch, step by step in real time. Course page, checkout, email sequences, the lot. If you've been waiting for a reason to actually start, that video's your nudge. Subscribe so you don't miss it. And if today's video was useful, or if there's a tool you've been wondering whether you might actually need, drop it in the comments. I do read them all. I'll see you next week.